What is up? We are your Colorado real estate family. In this video right here, we're going to be talking about what it's like moving into Denver in the fall time.
All right, let's go. Alright, if you're new to our channel, Chelsea and Pete here, and if you're interested in moving to Colorado, Denver, any of the surrounding cities, we're the people that you need to know. So hit that subscribe button, the notification bell. We put out 2 videos a week around all the different cities.
Yeah guys, and along those lines, if you're planning on moving to Colorado, licensed real estate agent here, we're helping out so many people just like you who are moving to this state with all your real estate purchases. Alright, cool, so let's go and dive into this video right now. We're going to kind of break in some pointers that you might want to know if you're planning on moving into Denver in the fall time. First one that we're going to cover is, what is that weather going to be like if you're moving here in the fall time?
Yeah, so we have talked to you a little bit about another video about kind of our 4 seasons as a whole. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Today we're going to really be talking about...
And the summertime. We did a summertime one too.
Yeah.
So like we did summer, now we're doing fall because it's always different. You never know.
Yes, there's one thing that we love about Colorado and everyone loves about Colorado. It's that we have 4 seasons. But there are things to consider for each season. So in the fall, let's talk a little bit about what the temperatures are like in the weather.
Yeah, so okay, so fall time starts in September. I know this because my birthday's in September and sometimes it falls on the first day of fall. Super cool, but September you're looking at probably like in the 80s. I'd say like low to mid 80s. When you go into October, you're gonna break more into the 60s, so it'll get more into the 60s. November, then that's when you kind of drop down into the 50s. So something to kind of keep in mind if you are moving to Colorado. It doesn't get too cold, but with the weather, what are we looking at for October?
So with October, we do sometimes see some snow. And so, you know, one time your kids can go out in their little princess dresses and like, you know, trick or treat. The next winter, they are gonna be a big teddy bear because you have to just completely prepare yourself that you're going to get some snow potentially, not always, but sometimes, and you need to dress appropriately.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing. If you're planning on doing trick-or-treating with your kids, try not to put too much into the costumes because it might get ruined by like throwing a winter jacket on. We did it with our son. Well, maybe we'll throw some B-roll in so you can kind of see, but we had this awesome costume and then we had to throw a winter jacket on him.
What are you going to say when you go to the door?
Maybe playing like a costume that's like centered around, well, I was gonna say centered around being like a winter, like an Eskimo or I don't know, something like that. Yeah, I don't know, something that's cool that they could bundle up and be, you know, super warm if it does decide to snow that Halloween.
Yeah, you might want to wait to buy that costume until a little later in October so that you kind of can plan for the weather. But
yeah, well, and that's so something else to think along those lines, right? So if you're planning on like say purchasing a house in say September, early October, if you're going to be doing it like in early fall, you might be good. You might be able to move into your new house without having to worry about that snow, but there's nothing worse than like having to move all your furniture and stuff. I mean, even if you have a moving company, who wants to get all your furniture and everything wet from the slush or even the snow that's on the ground in October, November area? Yeah,
we do see a lot of our market, and Peter's going to kind of go into some of this stuff, but we do see our market kind of slow right when school is starting and stuff, but then hits hard because everyone's trying to move here before the weather changes. And so
it is, yeah.
Plus, fall is my favorite time of year because it's like you have those cool and crisp nights, but you have like a nice, you know, you have like all the fall clothing. Like I'm telling you, if you're gonna move to Colorado, we're gonna go into a lot more reasons. Fall is the best season in Colorado.
Well, and then there's the other extreme, right? So in the dead heat of summer, who wants to be out there sweating your butt off trying to move this furniture as well too? So fall and spring are like the ideal times when you're moving because you don't have to deal with the bitter cold and all the snow, and then you also don't want to have to worry about sweating your butt off trying to get that furniture into the house. So now that brings us into this number 2 thing that we really want to bring up if you're planning on moving into Denver in the fall time, and that's enjoy it. Moving is stressful. We understand that. We work with you guys all the time, but at the same time, have some fun because there's so much fun to be had here in Denver during the fall time.
Fall is full of activity. People trip out here just to see our beautiful fall colors. And like that happens everywhere. When you're in Denver, you're gonna see it. When you're in the mountains, you're gonna get like, it's gonna be like a picture in your face. Like, I mean, everywhere.
Picture in your face.
Yeah, just like this big, beautiful pic. It's just like gorgeous. Like people take videos and like they literally come to Colorado to see our beautiful fall colors.
And the
you see
leaves,
that.
it's just amazing.
You see that
when
all
I used to have a motorcycle,
Denver.
we used to like going up up into Clear Creek Canyon, just like carving through and seeing all the colors. And it's
so
sometimes
pretty.
it'll, like, if you hit the weekend that's really hot, it'll literally be a line of cars just like slowly going up, like seeing all the fall colors. So super cool.
Also, like all the different events. I mean, what are some of the ones that we participated
Yeah, so
in?
the ones that, okay, so Oktoberfest obviously is everywhere, you know, towards the end of September. I think it's 2 weekends here in Denver. I think it's like the last 2 weekends of September. We used to do it a lot more often when we didn't have kids, which was a ton of fun. You just go down there, they block off streets, you know, have some great time. They have some stages up there, some cool competitions. Like I did the one where you held the beer glasses out and so you could hold it out in front the longest. Well, they have a ton of beer. We don't really drink beer that often anymore.
But you're in Colorado, so if you're moving to Colorado, you're gonna find your beer crew, and so Colorado does not mess around on Oktoberfest because we do have a ton of breweries here, and so like Colorado has so many amazing breweries, and so that is like a big event for all of our brewsters out there.
Brewsters.
Is that a thing?
I don't even know if that's a thing. I don't know.
I think
Brewers,
I like it. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, maybe we're gonna know.
If that's a thing, tell me. Because
so,
we're not cool. We're like kind of cool, but like not like really cool.
No, we're like parent cool.
Yeah, we're like
there's
parent cool.
There's a thing, right? We're gonna tagline that parent cool. You know,
we need a shirt.
Yeah,
oh my god, we need to
come up with like a parent rap or something like that. I don't know. Another thing to do in the fall time too is the Botanical Gardens. The Denver Botanical Gardens has a lot of great stuff here. They have like this pumpkin fest, so it's pretty much like you go, you pick your pumpkin, you know, the whole what we call it, a pumpkin patch style thing, and they have like a glow fest where they have all these competing artists who come in and they do all the crazy artistic work on the pumpkins, and they have like this glowing paths that are all illuminated that you walk through. Super cool.
Yeah. The other thing too is everywhere you go, you're gonna get a bunch of harvest festivals. You're gonna get like fun little places to go, like farmers markets and stuff, all based around fall stuff. And so those are such a great thing to do with your kids or your family and friends, just to get out. We are starting to see a lot of the festivals start popping up in all the farmers markets that go on through the summer and into the fall.
Well, and so like towards the end of September, so Palisade, which is on the other side of the mountains here in Colorado, they have all the peaches that come out, and so all these harvest festivals are centered around those peaches. So you got like peach jam, you got all these different peaches, and it's amazing, and our peaches here are super awesome. So definitely take advantage of it, guys. Enjoy yourselves while you're doing it. Create some memories, some good things to do here in Denver. Now, the third thing that you guys might really want to know if you are moving here in the fall time is, what does the real estate market look like? Am I going to be competing against a ton of buyers, or am I going to be able to walk into an offer and, you know, get it accepted pretty easily, maybe coming a little bit lower, a little bit higher? So all I could do is base it off of 2021, which is kind of hard because this year is definitely different because of how the interest rates have raised the way that they have. Median sales price of houses so the only stats we have right now is June 30th of 2022. We're looking at a median sales price of $629. I don't know what those numbers are going to do because of these interest rates, because this year has been so crazy. Last year, you know, we had crazy low interest rates. Now they're a little bit higher. We are seeing the market soften a little bit. So I can tell you this summertime, like, you know, later in the summer, because May was insane, but later in the summer, the market did soften a little bit, and we were able to get a few of you into house without having that competition.
Right.
Also, even getting some, you know, maybe some stuff repaired or coming in a little bit below. So it's good to see that the market is softening a little bit for you guys. I don't know if that's going to happen in the fall, but let's just say that that's just a wild prediction out there that I think it's going to be a great time for buyers to buy this fall.
Yeah, I agree. So let's talk a little bit about why we keep, everyone's talking about interest rates, so like that's not new to anybody. However, like where are we at interest rate now versus where we were last year? So we looked it up. In September of last year, we were at 2.9%. So like this projection from now until the end of the year, we're going to start seeing projection 5.5% or 5.5% to 6%, and that's what they're projecting through the end of 2022. So, you know, it's way higher than last year, not even close to as high as we've been in the past and things like that. But we're you know, seeing that it's going to increase. So we don't really know how that's going to affect the market. We do typically have trends in the market. In August, one of the things that we kind of bank on a little bit is that people are putting their kids back in school, and so it's really hard to be searching for houses, get the kids back in school, moving, you know, especially if there's, you know, moving from one school to another because of districts or things like that. So we do see a softening market without like any of the other factors. We typically see a softening market just in general around school start and school end. But again, the interest rates just kind of threw a whole nother little level on that. So
yeah, exactly. With interest rates, I mean, all we can do is just kind of see what happens. That's why we love when you communicate with us. Hey, what's going on? I literally just had a guy who wanted to list his house this morning. Hey, should I list my house now? Should I wait a little bit? And I just told him, I was like, you know what, let's kind of see what happens with these interest rates and kind of figure it out. That's the best way to go about this market right now. All right, cool. So we're going to go on to the fourth one, and this one is kind of fun a little bit, I guess.
But it's like important.
Well, we didn't realize, like, working with you guys who are coming from, like, say, the East Coast or even the West Coast, there's certain things that we deal with that you don't. And so there's some stuff that you might need to know when it comes to a honey-do list.
Honey-do list.
And so I guess let's just break into some of the main ones. So
yes.
The biggest thing is fall time, you're going to have to be blowing out those sprinkler systems. So we have to worry about those sprinkler systems freezing, possibly ruin those sprinkler systems. So definitely look forward to, if you're buying a house in the fall time, getting in. If it's not already blowing out, you're going to have to blow out that sprinkler system.
So understanding your sprinkler system, you know, maybe even having, like, during your walkthrough, like, just making sure you understand it all so that you know what you're going to be doing. Luckily, there's YouTube out there, so you can always look things up if you don't know how, or you can ask your,
there's a bunch of companies for hire out there too.
Yes.
Like you'll see signs popped up almost on every neighborhood corner. It's blowing out sprinkler system, $30 or this and that, whatever. So there's a ton of people. If you don't want to do it yourself, you could also call them. They'll come out and do it real quick.
Yeah, but being prepared to say, like, oh, I'm moving right here, and this is about a time that we're getting close to a freeze. Do I know how to do that? And if not, just being prepared to be like, okay, well, I'm going to hire it out this year, and maybe I'll learn or whatever. So, okay, so one thing that Peter does that I don't know if other people do, but talk about caulking.
Yeah, so caulking, I personally, so here's this thing, I look at my driveway and I hate cracks and such, and so when you have water that seeps into those cracks and then it freezes, it expands that crack, and so every fall time I like to caulk the driveway with, the caulking and make sure that no water gets in there during the winter time. Also, something else that you might want to caulk is your windows. Check those window sills, make sure that you caulk them all up. It can get pretty cold here in the winter time.
Yeah, so, okay, also, so if you're just moving here, you may or may not have this issue, but it's just something to consider. So say you buy a house and they do leave some of the outdoor things for you, maybe in your backyard or
like
in the front.
Planter pots, or
we have sails and lights. Like we have such beautiful weather here that you are hanging out outside a lot. So be prepared to have really pretty backyards that have cover for the sun and the lights and all of that. So in the fall time, one thing that we do together is we pair up together. We go outside. We start taking all those things down and really preparing for the wetness, the winds that we sometimes get a little bit in the fall time, and just kind of preparing for that dormant backyard, which makes me so sad.
It looks so unhappy.
It's so
during
unhappy.
Sometimes all vibrant, you got flowers and you got all the decorations out there, and the winter time's
well, and same with pruning and things like that. So your bushes, there's some grasses and some, and by the way, I am not an expert in this. I have to look it up every year. I'm like, hey, what do I have and when do I cut it? But anyways, you do some of the pruning and some of the cutting of the grasses and stuff also in the fall. So you don't want to move into your new house, not know about your plants, and the next year not have those beautiful plants that you bought your house off of, right? You're like, oh, I love the landscaping. So just be prepared that, we do go through a freeze in the winter. So you got to just kind of look at your outside and just make sure you're prepared for that.
And so along those lines, I know this might not sound okay. If you guys have snow in your state, then you understand this. But if you are coming from something that does not get snow, make sure you buy a snow shovel, because the last thing you want is that snowstorm to hit, run to the grocery store when everyone else forgot a snow shovel, and try to buy one and they don't have one.
Pikachu! Pikachu!
Get the mailman!
What? No! Get him!
He's lying! He's lying!
So make sure you have a snow shovel. We actually had a tenant in one of our rentals who, that's what she did. She's like, holy crap, I can't shovel the driveway right now. I don't have a snow shovel. And so she was searching all over to try and find one when everyone else was buying them.
Yeah, the other thing too is you might still see the snow blowers and things like that. It's not a horrible idea. So if you want to invest in a snow blower, it definitely will make your life a lot easier. If you're a north-facing house, definitely going to make your life a lot easier because you have snow longer in the front than we do. We're a south-facing house?
We are south-facing.
Yeah, so, the sun, luckily when we do get snow, we get sun and stuff like that. So sometimes it can clean it right up for you. But most of the time you are still doing the maintenance because we don't want any ice or slipping or anything like that. So be prepared to take care of those outdoor areas with the snow to come.
Oh, a rake too. A rake, because we talked about those fall covers.
Let's talk about fall.
So, like I said, the leaves are going to be dropping and everything, so make sure you have a lawn rake as well too, because last thing you want is all that to get on your lawn and then guess what? Next year you're gonna have to power rake or something like that to get all the leaves out of your grass.
Yes, so it's not uncommon here because of fall being so beautiful that you'll see like almost the decorating starting the moment that those leaves start to fall. They have decorative bags that you put them in that look like big giant pumpkins, and you put all the things in instead of having to sit there and like make your trash look, you know, horrible while you're waiting for the trash to be picked up with all those leaves. You could put them in little pumpkins and put them outside, and that's how you know fall is coming. Is everyone's like, yep, leaves are falling, they're coming down. We're decorating by trash, which is hilarious. Like now that I said that out loud, but it's fun, and they make things specifically for that. So
all right, cool guys. Well, I mean, we're glad we could bring this video. Like, so there's stuff that we take advantage of that we don't really like to share the knowledge, or we don't know to share the knowledge. But like so many times when we're working with you guys, when you're coming from, like I said, we work with a lot of people from the East Coast, West Coast, you know, even Middle America, and stuff that we don't really realize that we don't, that other people don't know, right? Like, I mean, we just have the client out who moved here from Florida. She wanted to get a termite inspection. It was like, you really don't need to do that here in Colorado. The termites are super, super rare in Colorado. So there's certain things that we were like, all right, we need to start sharing this information because we just don't really realize that other people don't experience the same things we do.
Yeah, so if you are from Colorado, we've been getting a lot of actual locals reaching out to us as well. So thanks all you Colorado people. We're right here with you. But if you're from Colorado and if you have some knowledge to share, comment down below about this topic of moving into the fall. We're all about just creating one space for all of our clients to come and gather the most accurate information. And if you're not from here and you're like, okay, I want to know more about this, we've had a few of you reach out recently and give us a whole list. It is so fun. I did not know how, like, you guys are brilliant. Like, we're like, yes, that's a great topic. Like, we wouldn't have known to do that. So thank you so much. Reach out if you have other comments you want us to cover.
And if it takes a while for us to get those videos, please, I mean, like I said, we're backlogged quite a bit with all the suggestions. So we're trying our best to get to as many of those topics as possible, but please bear with us and we'll get to them as soon as we can. So until next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye. I'm going to.
Okay. Alright, cool. So long as love. I don't know why I said that.
Same thing like 3 times.
Alright, let's just. I did? Oh, you want to do it again?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Real estate agent here. Hope you can hear.
Why did it get busy all of a sudden?
I know. And the first one is. What's the first one? Okay. Or I guess closing in that time. That squirrel looked like he's going to attack us. All right, ready?
Hold on, nope. Okay, I'm ready now.